And thank you for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Ephraim Graham. President Trump is fired up over the Russia investigation. He sent a series of tweets this weekend following the indictments of more than a dozen Russians accused of trying to meddle in the 2016 election. CBN's Jenna Browder has the story now. She's in Washington.
President Trump is venting his frustration with the Russia investigation, launching a tweet storm over the weekend. If it was the goal of Russia to create discord, disruption, and chaos within the U.S., then with all of the committee hearings, investigations, and party hatred, they have succeeded beyond their wildest dreams. The tweets came after Special Counsel Robert Mueller indicted 13 Russians and 3 Russian companies accused of meddling in the 2016 election in an effort to help Trump.
There has been no collusion. I call it the Russian hoax. The entire thing has been a witch hunt.
Critics say Trump isn't doing enough against Russia after he claimed in the past.
It could be Russia, but it could also be China. It could also be lots of other people. It also could be somebody sitting on their bed that weighs 400 pounds, okay?
With Trump now arguing, I never said Russia did not meddle. The Russian hoax was that the Trump campaign colluded with Russia. It never did. In another tweet, Trump also disagreed with National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster for this comment.
With the FBI indictment, the evidence is now really incontrovertible.
Trump tweeting, General McMaster forgot to say that the results of the 2016 election were not impacted or changed by the Russians. A key point in the charges came from Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, who oversees Mueller and the investigation, and also says Russian meddling did not have any effect on the outcome of the election. These changes aren't the final word for Mueller, who has yet to finish his investigation into the Trump campaign. In Washington, Jenna Browder, CBN News.
And here are some of the other big headlines we're following for you right now in the CBN newsroom. Florida students are calling for nationwide walkouts and marches next month, demanding an end to gun violence. This comes after a gunman killed 17 people at their high school. The president is set to hold a listening session with the high school students and teachers. Hungary's prime minister says Christianity is Europe's last hope. Viktor Orban addressed Europe's migration in a speech Sunday. He believes migration has caused a decline of Christianity and the advancement of Islam, and says his country will oppose migration efforts by the UN and EU. A Mets general manager says Tim Tebow could make it all the way to the major leagues. Tebow practiced at the spring training camp Sunday. The outfielder says no matter what happens, he sees himself as a success because he is playing the game he loves. Now you can find more information on these stories right here on NewsWatch, as well as at cbnnews.com. The South Florida high school massacre is sparking calls for less firepower. It also sent many people to their knees Sunday praying for answers. Plus, we're also learning new information about the man accused of carrying out the massacre. CBN's national security correspondent Eric Rosales is in Florida with the latest.
Members of the Broward County Sheriff's Department still has a local high school on lockdown, gathering evidence and collecting from the crime scene. Meanwhile, the first of many of the 17 funerals are starting to take place. People tell me that they are relying on their faith to get them through this tragedy.
A lot of us are going through different emotions today. Some of us are just in this state of shock right now. We're in utter disbelief. We're like, how in the world did this happen?
On Sunday, church leaders throughout the community rallied on the Word of God to help bring healing in the aftermath of the deadly Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School shooting.
The motto of our church is loving God, loving people, and showing it. And this is our opportunity to really put that face out there.
Some of us lost friends, some of us lost neighbors, some of us, know of someone that's hurt, so we're all here to just console one another.
On Saturday, Donald Trump and the First Lady visited a Pompano Beach hospital, thanking doctors and nurses for their response.
Mr. President, and they have done an incredible job. The doctor was amazing. We saw numerous people and incredible recovery.
His visit sparked angry demonstrators who gathered outside the federal courthouse in Fort Lauderdale, calling on lawmakers to change the nation's gun laws.
If all our government and president can do is send thoughts and prayers, then it's time for victims to be the change that we need to see.
CBN News has uncovered new details about accused shooter 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz. Public court records show Cruz was unstable and violent to himself, posting social media videos cutting himself. His public defender said Cruz is willing to plead guilty to avoid the death penalty. The Broward County Sheriff said his office received more than 20 calls about Cruz in the last few years. He adds his deputies had recovered several of Cruz's cell phones, which paint a more detailed picture about him, but he wouldn't elaborate. And also a stunning admission from the FBI.
We truly regret any additional pain that this has caused.
The agency admits that they were warned about Cruz 6 weeks ago after someone called the tip line with information about Cruz's gun ownership, a desire to kill people, and disturbing social media posts. But the agency dropped the ball. The news angered many.
17 innocent lives were taken from us because they failed to do this. They failed our school and they failed Parkland.
FBI Director Christopher Wray says he is still gathering information, but he does plan to get down to the bottom of what exactly happened. Meanwhile, Christians here in South Florida say that they will rely on Jesus and the power of prayer to heal. Eric Rosales, CBN News, Parkland, Florida.
At least 5 people were killed and 4 wounded by a gunman shooting hunting rifles as they left a Russian Orthodox church Sunday. It happened in Kislyar, which is located in a predominantly Muslim region of Russia. The Islamic State claims responsibility. The gunman was a local resident, and his wife has been detained for questioning by police and we've not uncovered right now a motive for the crime. Still ahead, the danger our soldiers face after their service to America. See how one man is working to change the statistic when we come back. Post-traumatic stress disorder and traumatic brain injury take more veterans' lives than combat. That is according to the organization Collateral Damage Project, a nonprofit organization hoping to prevent veterans from committing suicide by providing treatment free of charge. Our Mark Martin is on this story.
Now we're getting into the personality assessments, the MMPI.
Clinical psychologist Dr. Timothy Barclay is a busy guy. In addition to teaching psychology to the next generation at Liberty University, Barclay also helps patients at a private practice.
In the areas of the brain that are underfunctioning, we would seek to increase that activity.
Prior to this life, Barclay was all about the military and law enforcement. He served in the Army and then 20 years as a police officer. In all walks, he seeks to save, and now that passion is rescuing veterans on the verge of ending it all.
And it was actually through my years on the police department that I was exposed to, mental health and mental illness, dealing with people in crisis all the time, that I really became interested in the work of psychology.
Estimates indicate a military veteran commits suicide each hour of each day. Barclay says treating veterans has been frustrating because many take 10 or more psychiatric medications.
You're not really treating the core issue, because what you're looking at is all the synergistic side effects of the combination of medications, and it made treatment very difficult.
Plus, he says the treatment needed to get to the core of complex trauma is rarely covered by insurance, and Barclay believes that adds up to a broken system.
So it was last year just really thinking about this in earnest, and how can I circumvent this? What can I do to really treat the population that I'm truly passionate about, but without giving these services away and going bankrupt in the process? It was like a light bulb that went off. Well, the only way to really do that effectively is through a nonprofit organization, and to raise funds and to do what we do here in private practice, but to offer that to veterans.
That idea led to the Collateral Damage Project, or CDP, to help vets battling post-traumatic stress, traumatic brain injury, and depression.
And the current state of affairs of how we see all these veterans suffering and committing suicide, they're basically collateral damage to our current system.
The main goal of Collateral Damage Project is restoring what war has taken. And those associated with the organization say they recognize that veterans were willing to give their lives for us and our country, that the least they can do is offer them the best kind of care at no cost.
So anybody who has a passion and a heart for vets, understanding the current crisis that we're literally losing 20 vets a day to suicide because they don't have access to proper care, that's a figure that's dumbfounding, and we ought to be alarmed by that. So people who are compelled by that needs to give to this organization.
As funds come in, CDP will offer veterans an intense 4-week program, including brain mapping, trauma-focused psychotherapy, and non-invasive brain stimulation techniques.
So the red color that we're seeing here on the sides of the brain basically are telling you that this person has an overactive mind, maybe an aggressive disorder of some sort?
Well, they would have some emotional dysregulation, some aggressive type tendencies.
The program will also offer a year of follow-up care for free. Therapist and retired Army chaplain Dr. David Mickelson works with Barclay.
CDP is going to be a great program. I think the genius of that is bringing together multiple methods of treating trauma, doing it in a very intense format, which is great for military folks. I mean, they're used to an intense environment, and they'll do well in that environment. And then bringing it all under the gospel of Jesus Christ and recognizing that spiritual renewal and redemption is part of every warrior's story. It's going to be great.
Currently, Dr. Barclay is treating veterans here in the Lynchburg, Virginia area as they trickle into his local treatment center. But his goal is to expand it to a large-scale center, treating the most severe cases of PTSD and TBI for veterans across the country. One of those patients is retired Marine Isaac Coley.
I could sit here and tell you, the normal symptoms of nightmares, sleepwalking. My wife actually had to sleep with a pillow in between us because of how violent I would get in my sleep. So I had the VA that would pop me full of pills and medications, and I had the support groups, and I couldn't find what I needed.
Coley says the treatments and spiritual aspect made a huge difference, including saving his marriage. On top of that, his medications went from as many as 10 to just 1. Would you say you're a walking miracle?
I don't know. I don't know if I would say that, because that seems to give me a little bit too much credit. I think that when you first said that, what came to mind was all of the miracles that have happened in my life to bring me to where I am by the glory of God and by His divine leading through people like Tim Barclay and the CDP program.
Coley now wants to spread the word about Collateral Damage Project to fellow veterans.
A couple nights ago, a friend of mine called me. He was going to take his life. And I told him, I said, no. I said, we veterans need to be the example of what a man can endure and overcome.
Mark Martin, CBN News, Lynchburg, Virginia.
And donations are much needed for the Collateral Damage Project. If you'd like to contribute, head to our website at cbnnews.com. We'll link you to the GoFundMe campaign. Still ahead here on CBN NewsWatch, Letitia Wright, the breakout star from Black Panther, explains why her role in the film is an answer to prayer. Black Panther delivered on a big promise at the box office this weekend, pulling in nearly $200 million in the U.S. The Marvel film has become the 5th highest grossing debut for a movie ever. I sat down with Black Panther cast member Letitia Wright to hear about her role in the film, see why she's the breakout star.
Remote driving system activated.
Wait, which side of the road is it?
For God's sake, just drive.
Okay, calm down. Woo! Let's go! Hey, look at your suit. You've been taking bullets, charging it up with kinetic energy.
Pull around the truck. Where'd he go?
show off.
Did I hear correctly that you were inspired to act by seeing the film Aquila and
Yes,
the Bee? So that
yes,
is true.
that is true.
Can you spell it for me?
G-A-B-R-O. Cabro?
Actually, it's got 2 B's. You know, Aquila, you ain't short on people who want to help you. I bet you could just look around, you got 50,000 coaches. Starting with me.
So this is a full circle moment because now you're Angela Bassett's daughter.
Yes, it is a full circle moment. Yes, it is a full circle moment. That film really inspired me. It really made me want to become an actor because I saw someone that looked like me that wanted to do something positive. So I wanted to. That was what I wanted to put out in the world. So now playing this character and also having my mother be Angela Bassett is kind of surreal, you know.
You are amazing in the film.
Thank you.
I hear many people singing your praises already. So you on purpose took this wanting to be an inspiration to young girls.
Yeah, it's something that I was pretty much praying about since I was a kid, you know. I just want to do something meaningful in the world. I want to contribute positively, so that means the roles that I get to play as well. It doesn't necessarily mean that the characters are always flawless and perfect. No. There's no perfect human being. But just for, like this one in particular, I know it's gonna release a lot of positive energy. So that's the type of work I would love to do. And I don't mind playing a villain or, you know, I don't mind doing that. But just to have something in my career where it's like a pinnacle moment of inspiration, I feel like this does it really well.
For people who have not seen the film yet, describe Shuri. She is, I mean, just brilliant.
Yeah, she's just a teenager, you know. She's just she's just a normal kitty who just happens to be a princess, but loves technology, loves her nation, loves her brother, loves her family, and just trying to do something positive. She's very outspoken. She will say it out because she's been given that freedom all of her life. As a kid, she's never been restricted to rules and like. Don't say this and don't say that. She knows to be respectful, but she knows to speak her mind too. And that's something in Wakanda you'll see. Everybody's willing to speak their mind and say it how it is. So, yeah.
How scientifically inclined are you?
I am not scientifically inclined at all. I loved science when I was growing up, but that wasn't my calling. Science wasn't my calling. My calling was to just be an actor and other things as well along that line of entertainment. But no, Shuri's teaching me a lot. Learning about what Shuri's saying in the script opened my mind up to a lot more that's happening in the world about science and technology and maths and engineering. So yeah, all in all, no. But Shuri's teaching me as I listen to her more and become her a little bit more. She's teaching me a lot.
And Letitia is teaching us. If you follow her on social media, you see she gives all praise and credit to God for the success of the film and also the success of her career. That's Greetings from Wakanda. We'll be right back. Devon Franklin is a rare combination. He's a Hollywood film executive and a preacher. His latest project, The Star, really allows him to blend both of those callings. And now, as the animated film is available on DVD, Devon has a message to share with children and children at heart.
Hey, I'm Devon Franklin, and I want to share with you a conversation that I have with some incredible young kids about how to keep the spirit of Christmas alive all year around. What's up, Star Crew? How are you? Good. Did you like the movie?
Yes.
What were your favorite moments?
When Dave started dancing to distract the dogs.
Yes.
When Bo the donkey protected Mary and Joseph.
Yes, sir.
I like when the camels toppled over each other.
No. So it sounds like everyone loved the film. You know, one of the things I wanted to talk about is God's plan. The idea that God has a plan for our life. When you look at Bo, You know, there Bo is at the beginning of the story, and he has great dreams. He has dreams of being a part of the Royal Caravan. He has dreams of doing something great. I believe that God's plan for our life always starts with the dream. How many of you have a dream of your future? How many have more than one dream? Well, I believe that God has given you and me that dream. See, as a young kid, when I was your age, I always wanted to make movies. Now, it was scary because when you have a dream and you don't know how to do it and you aren't sure if you can actually be successful in going after it, it can be terrifying. But what I can tell you is that when you hear God speak to you and you know that there's a dream for you to pursue, God has already gone before you to give you the help you're going to need in order to achieve the dream.
I just hope you find what you're looking for.
I don't know what to say.
You're welcome, kid. Now get going.
On the road to achieving your dream, on the road to becoming who God wants you to be, you're not going to be able to do it by yourself.
You're free, kid.
I believe that every time we step a foot of faith in the direction of where God wants us to be, He helps align us with the right people.
Watch your step, and watch your step.
Was Bo able to achieve his dream by himself? No. He had to have help. He had Dave,
hey, pal,
who was the dove, and he also had Ruth.
Hi.
Friendships in my life have been so important because every time I thought I had to do it by myself, I was not successful because I needed people, my family, my friends to encourage me. Anybody ever been encouraged lately? All right, here's what I want you to do. I want you to turn to the person next to you and say, you can make it.
You can make it.
Say, you will make it.
You will make it.
Say, follow God's plan.
Follow God's plan.
You will succeed.
You will succeed.
I love it. One of the other things I wanted to talk about was faith. The Bible says that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So much of faith is seeing it here before you see it here.
And you can catch the DVD. It's available tomorrow. I'll leave you with this thought. God is going to do it again, but that doesn't mean He's going to do it the same way. With that word, make this a marvelous Monday and a wonderful rest of the week. We'll see you tomorrow.